What's happening, everyone? Keith with Z Customs coming back to you with another quick video. Today's video we're going to discuss a highly requested topic. I know a lot of people have seen these star headliner light kits, and you probably always wondered, how do you install them? Probably watched a couple videos. You were like, man, that seems complicated. Having to remove the entire headliner, take it out, drill holes, blah blah blah. But I'm going to show you an easier way to install it and see if you really want to tackle doing the actual headliner yourself. So what we're going to do is grab your little star headliner kit. And how we're going to practice is to get your confidence up. Try to do it yourself. We're going to do it on our trunk lid. So most trunk lids got either a carpeted liner, a hard plastic liner, or maybe not a liner at all. Now, even if you don't have a carpeted trunk liner, a plastic liner, and you just have bare metal, you can go over to Sonic Electronics and purchase some automotive carpet with adhesive on the back. That way you can basically align your trunk lid. You can align your trunk lid with that carpet, and then you can go in and put your lights in. You can have a custom one. But back to it. So again, you get you a little kit. We're gonna go to your trunk liner. Now the reason why it's easier to start here and get an idea for it, it's a small canvas. You can easily remove this. You can take it inside your house. You can work on it at your own pace. And majority of the time it's just held in with plastic clips. Some vehicles have a couple screws, but it's relatively easy. Anybody with a basically anyone with, you can get you a flathead screwdriver, get you a plastic removal tool, but a flathead would do just fine. So once you get you a flathead, on mine, you got two clips. You got one in the center that you want to pop. Pull it straight out. See if we can focus. It's not focusing. Oh well, we'll come back to it. Where are we gonna play? And let's put these on the speaker box for right now. So all you want to do is just want to go around, pop off all your clips. See this one from the side. See, it's relatively easy. I'm doing it with one hand. It's not that bad. Pop that one. I think I got one more clip. Nope, two more, I believe. Got one right here. I see the other one. Okay, I see it. I got a couple more. This one is in here. Inside corner. Oh, where'd that one go? Oh, there's a couple more right here. Let's see if I got them all. Yeah, so got all the clips. Now I've got a emergency trunk release. Going to See how that clipped in. Pull this back some. This little trunk line goes around it. Nah, that's a little clip too. So let's get back in with the flathead. Kind of hard to remove these two clips with one hand. We're gonna see what we can make happen. Might have to pause the video. Yeah, I'll pause it real quick. Alright, so I actually didn't remove that safety trunk release. The carpet has a slit in it. I just slid the carpet around and moved the whole thing. So now you got your whole trunk liner removed. Now you can take this in the house and you can start on that process. But to get a gist out of it, and I got some sounding material that I had left over. I just try to stuff in different areas, try to cut down on some of my trunk rattle. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're gonna bring this, that way we got that to go inside the house. Now these kits come with a cigarette lighter plug and like a house wall adapter plug. Now the cigarette lighter plug is relatively short. But what I did is I split back the insulation to show you that it's only a power in the ground. So you can initially cut this plug off. You can extend this wire. There's multiple different ways you can hook it up. I mean, you can hook it up to your trunk light. That way they turn on when you open up the trunk. You can extend it, which I got a whole bunch of 2-conductor wire. You can extend it up to your fuse interior fuse box. You can do an adder circuit. More likely what I'm gonna do. That way, I'll probably choose an ignition source. That way they turn on when the key is on. But yeah, so for starters, after you remove the truck liner, I'm actually gonna wrap my leftover wires, which I should have had already kind of bundled this, and try to measure out how much I'm gonna actually need. Give me a sec, let me park y'all up real quick. Try to pre-measure this a little bit. So I'm gonna wrap my excess wire in what's called Tech Flex. So this braided loom, because I don't want it to be exposed, which I need to redo this from the factory because it's getting chewed up. But I don't want to expose wires running from here down. So probably gonna mount this somewhere, maybe on this back wall or something. But
Daddy,
what's up, man?
I love you.
Huh?
I love you.
I love you too, man.
Daddy,
Yeah, man.
can I step in the step for me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Step for me.
So I think probably around this third piece of tape is where I'm gonna stop. Basically just gonna run it from this braided sleeve from here. It's probably about, I might do it to about here. Yeah.
What is a Zamboni?
A what?
Zamboni?
I don't know. I don't know what that is. Anyways, stay tuned for the next part. We'll walk right through it. Alright, so I went ahead and put on my braided sleeve loom over the parts that's going to be exposed. That way it's going to blend in with this bundle over here when I go to zip tie it. and then I went ahead and taped up the ends. That way I could easily run it through. But it's just like that little thing that you grew up with, that Chinese finger torture thing. Essentially open it up, run your cables through, pull it tight, cut off the excess, tape the ends. That way it doesn't unravel itself, just like I did here and on the back end. I like this material way better than the regular split loom, because as you see, split loom starts to fray and split over time. So I'm gonna end up having to basically just do a good tape wrap on that. But now we got this all lined up. We're gonna take this in our house and use our pick tool. We're gonna start dabbing holes in this. We're gonna take each optic fiber, put it in each hole. Then on the back end, we're gonna hot glue it. We're gonna do this. You can do it in different strands, different bundles, just to make it a little bit more organized. Then we're gonna put this liner back in, run the wires down. I'm gonna extend mine, and I'm gonna go up to my fuse box, and that's basically it. But stay tuned. I'm gonna give you a little walkthrough of how to actually, poke the hole, feed it through, hot glue it. Then on this end, you're gonna eventually, when you're all done, you're gonna take some flush trim cutters and you're gonna cut off the excess so it's flush with it. But I can't remember how many strands this kit is. I'd have to look on my Amazon order and put the link in the description. But it's not a lot. I mean, it's probably 175, 150, something like that. It's not many. And that's the other reason why I wanted to do it here first. I just want to show everyone that, you can do this yourself, especially back here. And after you do it here, then you can determine if you want to actually start to go through your headliner. Because as you see, taking apart a headliner, you got to deal with pillars, lights, sun visors, etc., etc. And it's huge. And also, when it comes to the headliner, once you start, there ain't no going back. But this trunk liner kit, you're doing it here, I mean, you could buy this for your car cheap. I mean, if you don't like it, it's fine. It's in the trunk. Ain't nobody gonna see it. Or you can remake your own trunk liner kit with some automotive carpet, like I described in the beginning of the video. But stay tuned. We're gonna knock this out. Shouldn't take too long, considering that it's not a lot of strands. It's a small canvas. We've already taken it off. I mean, you can take apart this trunk liner in a minute or two, if that. So it's really not going to take that long, but stay tuned. All right, so we got it tested up in the wall right now, just to make sure everything's good. We got our panel, got our side cutters, hot glue gun, some tape, and our pick tool. First thing you want to do is you want to determine how many lights do you have. I got 150 strands, and as you see, I kind of got like 3 dividers. So I'm gonna do 50 in this panel here. I'm gonna do 50 in the center. I'm gonna do 50 on this side. So once you figure that out, now what you want to do is you want to go through your strands. You want to count out 3 sets of 50. After you get a set of 50, you want to tape that end. That way you're going to route that 50 here, another 50 there, another 50 there. So stay tuned, let me do that, and we can get right back to it. Alright, so I counted out 3 sets of 50. And if I counted correctly, I think they actually shorted me at most 4 strands. And that's good to know, because if you mess around and poke 150 holes before you counted how many strands you got, now, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have a couple holes sitting in there with nothing in it. I mean, it's a small hole, but still, gotta work smarter, not harder. So now we're gonna start off with this first bundle. Going to the left. So we're going to move these two out of the way. An easy way to not get mixed up with how many you're poking, which granted, when you're poking holes, you gotta do it on the back side. So remember, my canvas is this area, and this area. We're gonna start here. We're gonna do 50 here. So I'm gonna start off making 10 holes. And if you got a marker, you can mark right next to your hole. That way you know where your hole is. So just go ahead and poke my first hole. I'm probably gonna do it right around, let's say here. Kind of hard to do with one hand. Okay. That was my first hole. Keep it there for a second. Get a marker. See if we can mark this a little bit. I'd have been better if it was a different color, but I could see it. Alright. So you need this bundle. Grab your first strand. You want to start to feed it through this hole. It doesn't really matter how much you go through. You might pull a little bit more. So we're gonna hot glue this anyways. I'm gonna make them where it is. It's kind of pulling tight from here. Then I hot glue. I'm not gonna hot glue as I go right now. I'm gonna do about like, I'm not gonna hot glue every one by one. I'm gonna probably do like 10. Hot glue those 10 and go to the next 10. But stay tuned. Alright, so I got my first 10 in. Got my first 10 poked in. Now when you do it, you want to make this as most organized as possible, because sooner or later you're going to see a whole bunch of bundles and strands and stuff all over the place, and you don't want a big load of spaghetti when you go to put it back in. So you want to do it in steps. Take your time, be organized. Consistency. Trust me, it's going to pay off. I got my 10 in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my hot glue set. I'm going to hot glue these 10. Then I'm going to work on the next 10. And I'm going to keep going down until I got this 50 here. Same thing here, same thing there. Stay tuned. Alright, once you got your hot glue gun primed, just going to hit it with a little dab. A little dab there. A little dab there. Just enough to cover the hole. You don't want it running through. Just want enough to get all the way around it. Try to count as you go in your head so you don't miss any. See what I got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there go the 10th one right there. Hit it just a little bit. Yeah. Set that up so it doesn't fall. Cut it off there. Simple as that. Stay tuned for the next set. Now I got my 50, my first set of 50 done. Let this glue dry some. That's what I mean about organizing. You want to make this bundle as neat as possible. So what you do is, as you're feeding them in, feed them until they get tight in that area that you're doing. That way, you can minimize the spaghetti. And I mean, you're gonna cut all this excess off, but if you can minimize the spaghetti up here, when you go to put it in, when you go to put it back in, it won't be as bulky. You ain't got that much to worry about. So, I mean, it's not flush, so you're not gonna see the full effect of it yet, but it's coming along. All right, so I completed all of them. As you see, the first bundle, it's not a bad spaghetti. And then the center gets better. This one isn't bad either. That's the key. You want to keep the spaghetti down. Try to keep it as organized as possible. Let's see what we got. Now I do still have to cut all this excess off, but that really shouldn't take that long. Oops, this project really ain't that bad. Do want to show you quick. Got my flush trim cutters. Come right up against it. Cut it. That's it. Do that 150 times. That part be done. Alright, so we got it all finished. As you see from the front of it, it looks factory. You don't see anything. It's completely factory. Now, let's plug it up and cut off the lights. Man, it kind of looks like I did like a guardian angel style. Pretty dope. Can't see the remote control at night, well, with the lights off, so, but you get the idea. All right, now we got it all mounted up, put back together factory wise. We got our braided sleeve, zip tie with the factory loom. Now I did go overboard with the zip ties, mainly because for one, I didn't want it to move. Two, it started to rain on me when I was finishing this up, so I had to move relatively quick. So I had to zip tie, and then I noticed that this kit was actually pretty short. So anytime you want to do these star headliner kits, whatever kit that you think you need, try to get the next size up. You always want to have more length than you need. When it comes to the power harness, it doesn't really matter. You can always extend that if you need to. But trying to find somewhere to mount the twinkle control bar box is crucial. I didn't have really much excess room for it, so what I did is I just grabbed some ABS plastic. I cut it to the size of it. I ran some self-tapping screws into the frame here. Then I double-sided taped it. Then I added some sound in it underneath. And I just wrapped a long layer of sounding around it. And it's basically just sandwich it together. it's not the prettiest, but in this situation, that's all I could do. But it's very, very functional. It goes with the trunk lid. It doesn't get caught up. It doesn't smack anything. It won't fall. Typically, when it's being long, well, this box is long enough, you can mount it on the back wall. You can mount it behind the carpet. You can mount it tucked away from everything. But in this situation for me, I didn't really have much space, so I had to do what I had to do. When it came to the power harness, it has a cigarette lighter adapter plug and then a wall plug for the house. Now this cigarette lighter adapter plug is just a power to ground, so I cut it, extended the wire, ran it through the car. Oh, lock the doors. Ran it along the door sills, all the way down. I still gotta put these panels back together. Ran it through, up and around, and I did an adder circuit. So this adder circuit over here is for my amplifier turn on. This one here is for my Starlight kit. So I got my two 15-amp fuses in there, got my little ground, and that's it. That's all it needs. Now, I'm trying to show you right now. It's kind of hard to see because it's daytime, but right now they are off. That way, I'm just gonna turn the ignition on because that's what I grabbed. Ignition source, not a constant 12 volts, an ignition source. Now you can see that they're on. So mine are only gonna turn on with the ignition or the vehicle started. That way. And granted, this doesn't really draw much voltage at all, but me personally, I don't like anything being constant 12 volts. If I can grab an ignition source, that's my go-to. That's what I'm gonna do. And you can always find an ignition source no matter what. So that's my route of doing things. That's my easiest way. But this section of it is a wrap. So basically it's done. So let's do a little walk back through. Let's do a recap. Go back inside the trunk. So for starters, chose the easy route of doing this. We did it on a trunk liner. Pop off the plastic clips, remove the liner, bring it in the house. Get your pick tool, go on the back side of your panel, start to poke holes through. Then start to feed the fibers in. Hot glue the back. Then you're going to take your flush trim cutters, which are actually down on the floor. You're going to snip off the ends. Run your harness. You're done.